Hi everyone, Pete from Retro Racing Lunatics, just tag teaming with a whole bunch of great people like Ian in the group, working through the updates coming from Teknoparrot with regards to Triforce and Play. Yep, both those open source emulators have been around for some time, but for some people it's quite I don't know, inaccessible, and some people are still learning, right? And some of these emulators, the trick is in the configurations and working through it. One of the little problems that has been worked through at the moment, this may or may not work for you, is the Play emulator, and some of the games have screen jitters. So, for instance, for my experience at least, even with the latest version of Technoparrot, there is wangan at Midnight and wangan Midnight R, Vampire Night, etc. Where when you're looking at the screen and you've got OCD like me, the screen jitters and jumps up and down, up and down, up and down. Now, for some people, you don't even notice it. You just play the game and all the power to them. Um, People like me do notice these things. Anyway, so I'm just going to go through a quick video on reshade. I'm assuming everyone knows how to download reshade, and you can see I've got 6.5.1 at the time of recording. And you can reshade pretty much anything and everything. And I'm certainly by no means an expert on reshade, but there's some games that I've got that it's detected on my system that I could apply reshade to, and I will likely go and do that because I'm a reshade aholic. But for this exercise, I'm going to go into Wangang Midnight and Midnight R. Um, I'll start with, actually, I might go to R to just to shorten the video. They're both the same, except just like with all the Wangangs, you can see that. Really keen to get between Wangang R and Wangang Maximum Tune 3. So, people, please let me know how I can get hold of those. But that would be cool to, complete the series until they give us plus after 6RR. Anywho, so quick game setup. We can help you out in the Discord, how to get some of these ROMs. They're quite available on archive.org, and via just doing a Google search for the 2x86 type ROMs. I've just got mine set to Vulkan. It has lower overheads, I feel, on my system compared to OpenGL, but it's a little bit of experimentation on your part. The Play emulator has been embedded into the Teknoparrot install folder, so you can still do like a lot of the stuff out of the Play emulator, and some people just have it separately running independent. But for some people who just really learning or struggle with this kind of stuff, hopefully this might be useful. Um, so yeah, so I've got it pointing into the particular zip file, and it would have its CHD folder and its respective file as well. And I've just set this to like maximum overdrive for my system. Now my system is a Ryzen 5 on my racing cab 5600G, but I don't use a graphics card. I use a Nvidia 2060 GPU that came with the PC, and I've thrown every game I've got in my build, about 800 games or racing games or whatever, and everything just runs really, really well. I'm pleasantly surprised on what the 260 can do. Anyway, enough about that. This is about reshade. I'm just going to go into reshade now. Got this on the right hand side. Noted I had Vulkan. If I had chosen OpenGL, I would have to pick a different path. So this again may or may not work for some people. Again, it's a bit of experimentation. More details on the Reshade website. Anyway, so I'm just going to go into browse, and in this case, you can see I've actually got a bit of a setup happening with regards to my hard drive and setup. I've actually created a fresh Teknoparrot build with Triforce, which now actually has Play in it as well. That's just an experimentation thing on my part. Anyway, I'm going to go into the Teknoparrot folder and to the Play folder, because when you go in here, you'll see firstly, where is it? Credia's Dolphin builds built integrated into the directory structure, and then you've got Play. So I'm just going to go into Play, and then I'm going to select the executable, and it lists it. Now, originally I had this open GL, but Reaver and the guys working with the Play folks have done it to Vulkan. So I'm just going to do a switch over to Vulkan. And then if you've done it the first time, you'll be given a selection of options to pick. So it will look a little different than what I'm showing you. But here I'm just going to go update and reshade and effects, because I'm moving from doing reshade against OpenGL to now doing reshade open to Vulkan. So I'm just going to click next. In here, you'll see that I've gone and picked a range of options already. So you can see I've picked FXAA, Fake HDR, SMAA, Technicolor, Adaptive Sharpen, and hopefully when you're seeing these you can see this, right? And then this one here is the one that will sort out the jitters. Well, it did for me. So I guess that's pronounced Fubax. And then you'll see this one here that's called interlaced. Now there might be a different option. I'd love to hear about that, but that's what's worked for me. Once you've picked those reshades, or you can select all, you just click on next. And finish. And then hopefully when I now launch Midnight R, the game will start up, and then you'll see the atypical reshade bar that goes across the top. And then if I can, I'll quickly just jump into the menu by holding the function and home key on my multimedia keyboard. Hopefully this loads up. Yep, so that means it's worked. And then I'm just going to, and you'll see there's no jitters. It's just like, it just holds still, other than the fact the game is from 2001, so don't think it's going to be bleedingly amazing. So you can see in my home key, I could see all the ones that I've selected, including this one at the top. Again, I don't use that for every single game. It's just the ones that are in play for the time being, to try and stabilize the jittering and the like. But again, you can pick any of these kinds of options. These are the ones I've got for my particular display in my racing cabinet that I really, really like. Just take it down a little bit. And again, don't expect miracles. The game came out in 2001, 2002. But as you can see, the gameplay is really rock solid. I'm just going to quickly start a game. And because it's using Vulkan, like I said, I'm finding it actually uses less overheads. OpenGL might give you a better look and feel, but at the same time, there is an overhead that goes with it. Still very playable on my machine with OpenGL, but this is just with Vulkan, so I'll quickly fire it up. You can see everything's just, there are maybe micro jitters, but I think it's more just the locking on the resolution. But the screen is not bouncing up and down like it normally does without it. And in fact, if I actually turn that off, I wonder if I can actually simulate it. Oh yeah, so you can see if I just by turning it off, you'll see that it actually just does bounce around a little bit. Probably not the greatest example. Oh yeah, you can see the letters bouncing up and down. It's more, I think maybe in OpenGL is actually a little bit more, but then as soon as I turn that back on, it locks it all down, and then everything runs. And because it's Vulkan for me, the audio is stuttering. It's still a little bit there, but it's not as obvious. So, and again, just remember this game 2001, 2002. So, don't expect miracles. But still, other than I suck at it because I'm trying to do this at the same time, it's doing what it needs to do in its correct aspect ratio. And then what I might end up doing for for these particular games on this version of Teknoparrot on my build is I might create add the reshade layering and put a bezel on this just to keep it in the right aspect ratio so things don't look all mushed up like I sort of did with the Triforce section of this particular Teknoparrot build. So I've got a few different Teknoparrot emulator systems on this drive because there are some things I want to do that I don't want to interfere with other aspects of the build. But anyway, hopefully that will help some people, and anyway, have fun.